Think about the classroom you grew up in. Rows of desks, right? A teacher at the front. For decades, it's looked pretty much the same. But what if the next 25 years change education more than the last 100? We're going to explore exactly how technology and design are set to completely transform how we learn.
Okay, picture this. You're trying to figure out how a car engine really works. Forget some flat diagram in a textbook. What if you could just slip on a headset and boom, a full-scale 3D model of that engine is just floating right there in the room with you? This isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is happening right now, and it's just a taste of how technology is already reshaping education.
But it's way more than just one cool piece of tech. We're talking about a fundamental rethinking of everything. The space, how personal learning gets, how we all interact. So the big question is, what does the future of school really look like when you put all these pieces together?
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to rethink the classroom itself. Then, we'll dive into learning in 3 dimensions and check out the rise of AI tutors. After that, we'll look at architecture that adapts, face some of the challenges ahead, and finally, get a glimpse of the new learning reality.
Let's be real. The traditional classroom was built for a totally different time. I mean, think about it. You're an engineering professor. You want to show your students how an engine actually works. Are you going to haul a greasy 2-ton engine block into the classroom? No way! And it's exactly that kind of limitation that's pushing us away from the old analog model and into something truly interactive.
Okay, so the first big piece of this new classroom is technology that makes learning, tangible, something you can almost touch. We're going to start by seeing how we can bring subjects to life, quite literally by adding that 3rd dimension.
And that, my friends, brings us to holography. Now, what is that really? In the simplest terms, it's a way of recording all the light bouncing off an object from every possible angle. It's like making a full 3D visual recording that you can actually walk around and look at from different sides, just as if it were sitting right there in front of you.
So how on earth does that even work? Well, it's all about light, and it's pretty clever. You take a single laser beam and you split it in 2. The first beam bounces off the object, and the light scatters everywhere. The second beam, though, goes straight to a special recording plate. And it's where those 2 light patterns meet and interfere with each other that the magic happens. They create this incredibly complex pattern, a diffraction, that basically freezes the object's 3D structure in place.
And this diagram here, this shows you that exact process we were just talking about. See how the light beam splits? One part goes off to hit the object, while the other part, that's called the reference beam, goes directly to the photographic plate. That crazy pattern they make where they overlap, that's what holds the key to the 3D image.
The potential here is just wow. Think about it. Nursing students could examine a floating heart, turning it over, looking at its structure from every single angle. History classes could bring ancient artifacts right into the classroom. I mean, actually in the room, not just a picture in a book. You could even have a world-renowned expert from halfway across the globe beam into your class as a hologram to give a guest lecture. It's a total game changer.
All right, so immersive visuals. That's one massive piece of the puzzle. But the next step is making learning truly intelligent and personal for every single student. And that, of course, is where AI comes into the picture.
This gets us into a field called AI Ed, which stands for Artificial Intelligence in Education. What's it all about? Well, at its core, it's really just about using artificial intelligence to build smarter, more effective ways for everyone to learn. And what's fascinating is how our whole idea of AI's role in this is evolving. It kind of started with this AI-directed model, where the AI is the boss and the student just receives information. Then we moved to AI-supported, where the AI and student work together, more like collaborators. But the real goal, the holy grail, is AI-empowered learning. This is where you, the student, are in the driver's seat, and the AI is more like your super smart co-pilot. I mean, imagine an AI that works with you as you write, suggesting better arguments or catching logical flaws in real time. That's powerful stuff. Okay, so we've got these incredible visuals and super smart AI systems. But where does all this amazing stuff actually happen? Well, the next piece of our future classroom puzzle is the physical space itself. The building, the rooms, they're evolving from just being boxes that hold students into powerful learning tools in their own right.
And this quote from Ed Circuit just nails it. It says, architecture isn't just about putting a roof over classrooms anymore. It's being seen as a strategic tool that actually shapes how students engage. So the buildings themselves are no longer just a backdrop, they're an active part of the learning process.
So what does that actually look like? Well, for one, you've got things like learning stairs, these big, open, tiered seating areas. They totally break down that wall between a speaker and the audience and just make it easier to have casual discussions. Then you have these specialized labs that are set up to look and feel just like real-world workplaces, getting students ready for careers in robotics or healthcare. And the library? It's not the quiet shh place anymore. It's being turned into a media commons, a buzzing hub where students get together to research, create, and solve problems.
Okay, a future with holograms, personal AI tutors, and these awesome smart buildings, it sounds absolutely incredible, right? But we've got to be realistic. Getting from here to there, it's not going to be a walk in the park. There's some really big hurdles we have to figure out first.
Let's just start with the most obvious one, money. See that number? $250,000. That's roughly how much it costs to create that famous Tupac hologram for just one performance at Coachella. And yet, prices are dropping, but rolling this kind of tech out to every school? That's still a massively expensive idea.
And honestly, cost is just the tip of the iceberg. To even run a decent hologram or an AI tutor that doesn't lag, you need seriously fast, reliable internet, and that's just not available everywhere. Then you get into the really sticky questions, like who owns all the data these systems are collecting on students? How do we make sure there isn't some hidden bias programmed into the AI? And maybe the biggest question of all, is there a danger that we could rely on this tech so much that it actually makes us worse at thinking for ourselves?
But look, even with all those challenges, the forward momentum here is undeniable. This stuff is coming. So, let's fast forward a bit. Let's look way down the road and ask, what is all this building towards? Let's take a little peek into what the learning reality might look like in 2050.
And you know what? The future is probably closer than we think. Right now, today, we're already seeing those flexible buildings and the first generation of AI tutors. In the pretty near future, I bet we'll see holographic classrooms becoming more common. But by 2050, we could be looking at a completely different world. Some futurists are predicting things that sound straight out of a movie, like brain-computer interfaces, or even DNA tests to help figure out your natural talents. And imagine learning about dinosaurs by, literally walking among them in a fully simulated VR world. Wild.
Which brings us to one final, and I think absolutely crucial question. As all this technology, the rooms, the AI, gets smarter and more independent, what happens to the human being at the center of it all? In a world of AI tutors and holographic experts, what is the future role of the teacher? And that might just be the most important question of all.